Well, good evening, my friends, and once again, thank you for taking this opportunity to join me for Monday, November the 19th, 2018. Again, my friends, this is a follow up to the breaking story I brought you earlier, again, out of the downtown area in the south side at Mercy Hospital, where it is believed to be shortly before 3:30, a gunman opened fire there at Mercy Hospital, wounding three people there, including a doctor, which is reported to be the ex-fiancee of the gunman. Of course, we do know that this is a domestic situation between the gunman and the ex-fiancee, which is reported to be a doctor there. We do know that, unfortunately, the doctor has tragically succumbed to her injuries at Northwestern Memorial Hospital, again, where she was taken. However, though, we do know that responding officers, unfortunately, one of the officers being 28-year-old Samuel Jimenez, who is just reported, from what sources are indicating, has just finished his probation not long ago with the CPD. Just had joined the CPD back in 2017 of February again. And we do know that this officer has tragically succumbed to his injuries as well, where we do know that he was fatally wounded when he encountered the suspect, should I say, at Mercy Hospital again. From what sources are indicating, again, we do know that the suspect is reported to have succumbed to his injuries as well. We do know, as of right now, we don't know, whether or not the suspect has fatally succumbed to his injuries by self-infliction, or was he wounded by police. But we do know that a shootout was reported to break out between police and the suspect there in the hospital again. However, though, we do know that the doctor, again, the ex-fiancee of this gunman, has tragically lost her life, including two others, one of them being 28-year-old Samuel Jimenez, member of the Chicago Police Department, which he leaves behind three children and his wife. Again, this is a tragic, sad situation, again, with this being no more than just 2 or 3 more days away to Thanksgiving, a time which, many of us should be coming together to be giving thanks. And unfortunately, a tragic situation like this, again, there's absolutely no justification for this type of behavior whatsoever. From what we do know at this time, some sort of an argument did ensue between the gunman and the ex-fiancee there outside of the hospital, from what sources have gone on to say, before someone attempted to intervene. Well, we do know that the suspect evidently raised his shirt, from what someone has gone on to say, just before pulling his weapon and opening fire on the female doctor there. One individual went on to say during an interview that the suspect appeared to be a black male, opening fire on this woman. From what sources said, the CPD was already there before he turned to open fire at the police officers, before he then again turned to finish shooting this victim that was reported to be down, which indicates that this is the gunman's ex-fiancee, from what we do know at this time. But sources have indicated that the suspect is dead. Again, as I've said, we don't know if it's self-inflicted gunshot wound or not, but this is what we do know, as we do watch and await the motorcade for the fallen officer of the CPD again. Again, our deepest thoughts and condolences are with this officer, his entire family, and both the CPD, again, during this tragic situation. And of course, the victims alike, my friends. As I've said, there's no justification for this type of behavior, again, my friends. But I just want to leave you with what Scripture has to say in regards to this situation, my friends, and to the CPD for the most part, where it goes on to read, my friends, here in the book of John, chapter 15, verses 13, where it goes on to read that greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for his friend. And Officer Samuel Jimenez has paid the ultimate sacrifice by laying his life down for his partner and for the victims there, my friends. By, again, being there to make the ultimate sacrifice, again, there's no justification for any of this, my friends, but our deepest thoughts, again, are with this officer, his family, and the entire department there. Of course, I will be leaving a link in regards to this tragic situation again, but we know that this comes no more than, many of you remember, it was back in it was back in early February, I believe it was February 13th, where the CPD lost one of the highest ranking members of its department, Commander Paul Bauer, as I'm sure some of you may remember, where he was tragically gunned down by a suspect, which he tried to apprehend there at the Thompson Center in downtown early February of this year, of course, as many of you may know. But again, this is a really sad situation. Again, my friends, we are doing our very best to monitor this as we speak, but we do not have the name of the victims at this time. Unfortunately, as of right now, we do know the name of the fallen CPD officer, Samuel Jimenez, 28 years old, who leaves behind 3 children and his wife. Again, I am doing my very best to monitor this breaking situation, again, that unfolded just before 3:30 this afternoon at Mercy Hospital in the downtown area of Chicago. Again, I've been by this hospital many times. I was working at a location just down the street from this hospital, so I am familiar with its surroundings again. But again, as I've said, there's no justification for this type of behavior. But, from what it goes on to read here, which I would be leaving a link again in regards to this, it goes on to read, a gunman opened fire Monday at a Chicago hospital, killing a police officer and 2 hospital employees after a domestic dispute exploded into a firefight with SWAT team members inside the medical center, where it goes on to read, the suspect was also dead, authorities said. As I've reported, we do know that Superintendent Eddie Johnson has gone on to state that we do not know whether or not it was a self-inflicted or if it was or if he was gunned down by police. But again, this is what we do know at this time, where it goes on to further read. It goes on to further read here, my friends, the city of Chicago lost a doctor, a pharmaceutical assistant, and a police officer, all going about their day, all doing, of course, what they loved. Where it goes on to read, Mayor Rahm Emanuel said, fighting back tears. I did see that interview. It was a very emotional interview again. This just tears at the soul of our city. And it goes on to read, it is the face and the consequences of evil. Again, my friends, this is a tragically evil situation. Again, my friends, as I've said, there's absolutely no justification for this type of behavior again. But if you want to finish reading in regards to this story, I will be leaving a link in regards to this again. But with that being said, if we happen to have any more updates in regards to this breaking situation that unfolded in the outer downtown area of Chicago, I will be leaving a link in regards to this again, my friends. But with that being said, let's just be sure that we do keep this officer and the victims in our prayers again, my friends. And with that being said, if you're looking to keep up on further updates or any breaking news, my friends, if we happen to have any, again, do feel free to subscribe, and I will do my very best to bring you the latest updates and breaking news again. And let's keep the entire department in our prayers as we watch this breaking situation again, my friends. And with that being said, everyone have a good night and God bless.